Good afternoon, I am Precious Nzeya Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Police IG irresponsible for suspending this distribution of FACEMASKS by politicians charges the DP. YUSUF DODIA described the abrupt appreciation of the KWACHA as an erratic arrangement. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
May I please have one beer and 2 glasses?
Do you have champagne? Yes.
Hold that thought. No champagne, just for the month.
Oh
you know
God.
we gotta keep on texting R to 9595.
I'm sick and tired of this R9595.
You stand a chance of your lifetime to win a brand new 2020 Range Rover Evoque when you text R to 9595. From as little as 5 kwacha, you get 1 entry, 10 kwacha for 3 entries, and 20 kwacha will give you a whopping 7 entries. There will also be daily and weekly consolation prizes up for grabs. That's great news, right? Competition runs from 12th of May to 31st of August 2021 and is only open to Zamtel subscribers. Terms and conditions apply.
Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal healthcare is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality healthcare near our homes.
In other media news in detail. Inspector General of Police Kanganja has directed that no one should be allowed to conduct the distribution of FACEMASKS activities, including the receiving of political leaders at airports or any other public place. Mr. Kanganja's warning comes following defiance of the Electoral Code of Conduct and COVID-19 regulations by political leaders under the disguise of distributing FACEMASKS, using this activity to gather large crowds. The Inspector General of Police has also directed all police commanders to ensure total compliance of existing regulations, failure to which actions will be taken on officers failing to do their job according to regulations on COVID-19 and provisions of the law.
The guidance was that only door-to-door campaigns should be allowed and with not more than 3 people. However, this does not seem to be the case on the ground. I have observed continued political activities being allowed by regulating officers, the conduct which is outside the provisions of the law guiding the electoral process. From today onwards, I want to see total compliance to existing regulations, failure to which action shall be taken on officers failing to do their job according to the regulations on COVID-19 and provisions of the law. You have been tolerant for a long time, and this tolerance is being taken as weakness by some political players and has resulted in them not taking heed to regulations and guidance. I therefore expect police officers to use force in bringing order in the country. All those that will deliberately choose not to follow the instructions should be dealt with accordingly.
The Opposition United Party for National Development, UPND, has described as unfair what it terms as the continued abuse of public institutions by the Patriotic Front-led government to clamp down the opposition. Addressing the media Monday afternoon, UPND chairman for elections, Gary Nkombo, says the Zambia Police Service, among other defense wings, have continued to be selective in the manner they carry out their duties in order to disadvantage the UPND. Mr. Nkombo has therefore called on the Patriotic Front to stop using their invisible hand of power to influence these government institutions.
On the 26th of July 2021, the Zambia Police Service, through its Inspector General of Police, issued a warning statement to what he termed as political players abrogating the Electoral Code of Conduct and disregarding COVID-19 guidelines in the disguise of distributing masks and thus gathering large crowds. This, however, has not settled well with the United Party for National Development, UPND, who have cited the police as being selective in the manner they apply the law. Speaking at a media briefing where he highlighted a number of issues, UPND Chairman for Elections Gary Kombo says the Inspector General of Police, Mr. KWACHA, himself was not too long ago seen doing the very thing he is condemning, as well as the ruling Patriotic Front.
This is the man himself, the one who issued the ban, Mr. KWACHA. Is it because he is in uniform and we are not? How can you do such a don't whoever? He himself went to engage with the public, talking about violence. We also need to talk to our people about desisting from violent activities.
Mr. Nkombo further cited the alleged abuse of the Zambia Air Force to disadvantage the opposition UPND.
Because Zambia Air Force are basically misconducting themselves. They are prohibiting Mr. Hichilema and putting spanners in the works for him to travel in his own country. This is very unfair. This is extremely unfair, and we must state to the Air Force as an institution of government that human beings come and human beings go.
The chairman for elections also cited the Electoral Commission of Zambia as abusing their power by what he termed as an invisible hand, clearly from the Patriotic Front, and therefore called on party members to go all out campaigning while upholding the COVID-19 guidelines.
To our members, I want to be loud and clear. Follow suit. Follow suit. Do not be intimidated. Because what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't allow a situation where only one party is allowed to campaign. The idea is follow suit. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander. What needs to happen is that President Lungu must stop his invisible hand to get the police, the ECZ, and now the Air Force to stop us from campaigning.
Is this a case of all animals being equal, with some more equal than others? Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Party says the directive by Inspector General of Police Kakomakanganja to bar opposition political parties from distributing masks is a recipe for anarchy. Democratic Party running mate Judith Kabemba says Mr. Kanganja should have started by acting professionally when Zambian President Edgar Lungu started the distribution of face masks, which was abrogating the COVID-19 rules. Ms. Kabemba says it is unfortunate that Mr. Kanganja is being biased because he wants to keep his job at the expense of the 18 million Zambians who are suffering. She says the police IG has betrayed his job as a police officer and the oath he took to protect the Zambian people. She said she has since urged police officers and Zambians to go and vote out the Patriotic Front on 12th August so that the unprofessional men leave the police service and allow them to operate professionally under the leadership of President Harry Kalaba and the Democratic Party.
Zambia Police IG, Mr. Kanganja, is the worst IG that Zambia has ever had. And it can only be kept by President Lungu because both of them have something in common, which is failure. The statement released by Mr. Kanganja to bar opposition political parties from distributing masks and carrying out campaign, I mean, that is a recipe for anarchy. Because, Mr. Kanganja should have acted professionally when President Lungu abrogated the COVID-19 rules, when he went to Bauleni, he went to Mtendere, he went to Kalulushi to distribute masks.
The appreciation of the Zambian kwacha to, among other things, the decision to maintain the policy rate at 8.5% in the second quarter of 2021, the appreciation has been short-lived. An economist, Mambo Hamawundu Sunday, warned that the appreciation of the local currency was not to be sustained.
It is highly unlikely that we will have a sustained appreciation of the kwacha against the dollar, because the factors that led to the kwacha appreciating are mere events, and once these events we've gone past them, like we have gone now, the next bond auction will be perhaps next month or the other month or in 3 months' time.
True to his word, an economist, YUSUF DODIA, says the appreciation of the Zambian kwacha can only be sustained with the introduction of laws and regulations that compel all exporters of Zambian merchandise to bring the foreign currency back into the Zambian economy.
We are very clear that we have some big exporters of products like copper, cement, sugar, livestock products, agriculture products. So some of these exporters brought in foreign currency into the country over the last 2 to 3 days, and we've seen that that has led to the appreciation of the kwacha. Now we see that the kwacha has now started to deteriorate again, because this bringing in of foreign currency is an erratic arrangement. It happens as and when the large companies decide to bring in foreign currency. We need to see a sustained input of foreign currency, and this can only be done through a law and regulation which will compel all exporters to bring their foreign currency into Zambia for the exports that they have made out of Zambia. If that happens, we will see a strong kwacha, we will see the interest rates coming down, inflation rates coming down, and the economy will diversify away from copper into other areas of economic activity.
With Zambia exporting all of its minerals and other merchandise on a daily basis to other countries, one wonders why the country continues to lack the much-needed foreign exchange. Tabling this matter is key at increasing the country's resources. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Media News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Police IG irresponsible for suspending the distribution of face masks by politicians, charges the DP. YUSUF DODIA described the abrupt appreciation of the kwacha as an erratic arrangement. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. That is all. Thank you for watching. Remember to always wear your mask, avoid crowded places, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Stay safe. Good afternoon.